Today I thought we'd just take a moment and kind of catch up on the overall state of affairs at Lakestone Love. We've been kind of focusing on one piece of the puzzle or another, and that's not 100% realistic because the day-to-day we are working on so many different things all at once that all are piece and part of the whole picture. It would just be a luxury to be able to focus on one item at a time and kind of check it off the list and move to the next thing. But that is just not the nature at all of new construction or remodels or the design process in general. Personally, since our last episode that really kind of recapped what was going on, I have moved my family into a rental house.
So it's been a pretty crazy moving day. We've got a lot of boxes to unpack. But the kids' rooms are looking good.
In Raleigh, North Carolina, right now it's very difficult to find a rental in general. And then on top of that, we needed to have 4 bedrooms because we've got 2 kids that are fine to bunk up, a baby, ourselves, and a nanny. We need a fenced-in yard. And then we really wanted to have a short-term lease because hopefully we won't need to live in a rental house for longer than 6 months. Perfect thing, we found one. It covered all of those bases. So we went with it after undergoing a bit of a facelift on this property that I helped the landlord with. We are now moved and settled. That aside, over on the job site, we have been super busy. The HVAC is roughed in now, and the electrical is probably 85% roughed in, and the plumbing is complete, minus a few tweaks that are happening today. As we move towards installing the insulation and drywall, this is kind of like the last chance to really make sure things are right. I have been going through the house often, and we have been checking our plans, checking what was actually installed and how those two relate. Is it correct? Is it not correct? I spent pretty much a full day. I went through every single room with the supervisor from the electrician's team and physically measured every single can placement from a ladder. And a lot of things were not quite right and needed to be scooted left or right. You know, if you don't check it, you're not gonna know. And as soon as the drywall and the trim goes in, you will know that something is not in the right space. There's a big difference between a new construction project and a renovation project. And Lakestone is both of these. So when it comes to the can lighting, I have selected Tech Element cans, which are directional, 3-inch flangeless square LED cans. They're really attractive. They will dim from cool to warm, which is really nice. So you kind of have flexibility of kelvins within your space. And it's just really important to me that I get this exactly right. There are a few places where center line of lights really matter. A lot of those places are in the renovated portions of the house, and some of the joists are just not favorable to where we need these cans to be. After going through some of these inches and places where we're off and not hitting the mark with the electrician supervisor, we've had to kind of step back and reorder some cans in a different format. So with the new construction nail-up cans, they take up a good amount of space, the housing. So if there's a joist in the way of a center line, then we're still gonna be 3 or 4 inches off that joist with the actual center line of that 3-inch fixture. Whereas with the remodel can, the housing's a little smaller and I can hug closer to the joist with the actual fixture. So we've made some substitutions and swaps as far as that goes to try to get a little closer to what we want. So I think at this point, everything's mostly resolved. Again, it makes for a stressful week. Good decisions were made, and I was really thankful that my contractor kind of stepped up and said, "Ma, you need to do what's right here," and just rolling with it. That's not you, and that's not right in this case. And I'm thankful for that because I think I kind of got to a point of exhaustion near the end of tweaking these electrical issues, and I was just kind of like, whatever, I don't care, but I 100% care. So it's good to have a good team. With the plumbing, everything is really in a great spot. We love our plumber. He's just wonderful to work with. We just needed to locate the pot filler location above the range. For that, I've kind of approximated the exact location and the exact height. And so Liz drew that in CAD for me and used the block from Waterworks for the pot filler, which makes it, exact. But we still are just having him leave a little slack in the line so that once the cabinets go in, we can adjust that exact location just a little bit. So it gives us a little wiggle room. And then he needed to recess the shutoff valve for the pot filler in the wall. And so that's really a simple change. HVAC, everything was pretty good. And then of course, yesterday I found one more vent that is like right in the way of a light fixture. I don't know why they didn't hug it closer to the window, but it's a ceiling supply. So that needs to slide over. And I think someone else can just slide it over. In checking the HVAC contractor's work, I found that they had put the thermostat for the new addition like dead center middle of a wall. And I don't even know how that happened. And I'm just really glad that I caught it because it would have been really disappointing to have this art light in the ceiling perfectly centered on a wall just to highlight a thermostat in the center of the wall. And the other big rough-in item is the home automation and low voltage wiring from Audio Advice. I met with our project manager on site and we kind of went through all of the speaker locations, subwoofer locations, TV elevations, security keypads, scene controllers, and there was a little bit of changeover. We had, for instance, in the butler's pantry, I had one space where there was going to be a light switch and there are too many studs in the wall next to the door to fit the switch there. So I ended up going back and adding a new scene controller for that room instead of a light switch. And now it's nice that that can be kind of a fallback for this space because it's going to be a very pretty space. So it's better to not have light switches on the wall anyway. So made a substitution there. And this is how it is, I think, for all of our client projects is I'm constantly this liaison between the low voltage people and the electrician and the light fixture vendor and the builder. So just really, everyone has to be in the loop because we can't have a light fixture that overlaps an air supply and we can't have a scene controller and a switch next to each other. The scene controller is supposed to eliminate the switch. So, just making sure there's been no duplication and no issues and kind of subbing one thing out for the other. So in closing, we are still up to our eyeballs in design work over here. Just trying to get ahead, having a little bit of setback since Memorial Day, but getting caught up as we speak. I'm excited that we will start kind of prepping the concrete slab and the basement floors this week. So those will be ready for flooring install. I finalized all the flooring selections and have that on order, which is really thrilling because I've been working on that for literally months. That's kind of like what lies ahead. We'll see if I am still surviving this to get to that next stage. Hopefully I will be. It's going to be a lot of early mornings and late nights, but we're getting there.